All right, so is Shaquille the snitch of the group? We're going to talk about it because snitches get stitches. All right. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is Conversations with the Crawleys, and we have lots of conversations about faith, family, relationships. And we do recaps, reviews, and commentaries on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about, let's see if you know it. Say it with us. Married at First Sight in Nashville. I know what city it's in.
I know, because you're like, well, you ain't going to give Nashville no props. It's like, South. What city is they in this time?
No, because there was also the other news story that was happening in Memphis. So that's why I was getting confused, because that was top of mind as well as far as that news story that was happening there. But anyway, if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications.
And share.
And we'll see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store. All right. So. Oh, she winking. We might have to cut the camera. All right. So let's start with Dominique and Mckinley. The old soul. The one who mama set her up on this whole thing. So where are my notes on them?
Yeah, so I'll start it off. They're in bed and they're doing their diary and they're going to go horseback riding on this day. And he starts off as like, yep, I rode tons of horses.
They called me horse.
So excited.
John Wayne was my uncle.
Oh my God. So she's like, you're lying. You're not being serious. And so after a while, it's kind of wearing on her about him always joking around, not knowing when he's serious. And she's like, we're in Jamaica. I want to have the full Jamaican experience.
Now, part of me also, I was wondering if he was trying to be a little flirtatious by saying, you know, my nickname is Horse.
Oh, okay. That takes a lot to be able to catch on to that.
But I'm just thinking that because you hope that at this time they're starting to maybe flirt with each other. But no, he was just talking about he was riding horses. Because it was at first it was like, I ride a lot. Okay. That's just what I thought at first. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
he don't sound that clever.
We see that. But I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Look at you.
Listen. So basically they do go horseback riding on the beach.
Yes. And the horses actually go into the water. So I was thinking when they were saying the horseback riding on the beach side is that they want to trot across it, but yet, you know, trot through the beach in and out of the water. They go swimming with the horses for a moment. Because they even had their little like life belt on whatever to flotation belt in case they get bucked off the horse that they could at least float. Right.
Yeah.
To the shore. But I mean, I can see you want how horses have behavior, so you want to keep them steady and in a certain area where they don't get spooked.
Right.
Because they could probably go in that circle all by themselves.
Right.
No problem.
Right.
But it's all about the experience and spending time together. And for I'm going to call him McKinley, it's just he's very out of his comfort zone. Yeah. And the way he was explaining it is that he jokes around when he's nervous and trying to get through a new experience. Yes. But it can be where I can see how you feel like it just takes the energy out of the room. You want to do something and nobody wants to do it, or we complaining about it. Yep.
So she does say, I forgot about that. She does say that she puts the attraction to him at a 6.5. But she's like, the romance, that's a 3 or 4.
3. He don't know how to put it on him. He don't know how to romance her.
Listen.
I'm like, that's where your focus should be. Just really lay it on thick. Like, I got you. But when you're more like, oh my God, I'm about to get on a horse. Oh my God, I got to go around in a circle. And then when the horse relieves itself and it floats up on his foot, he is like, nope. I'm not feeling this at all. Yeah. They could have kept this.
And then also the other thing, she called her mom on the honeymoon.
Yeah, I think I could just give you the whole week of our experience when I get back. But I've known people that they don't care what changes in their life, their relationship with their parent stays the same. So if they call them every day, they speak to them every day.
On our honeymoon, I only called my dad because he was taking care of the hotel room. We had a little issue with it.
Yes,
that was the only time I talked to him. Other than that,
listen, I don't think I talked to my mom the first 6 months of my marriage. To be honest, I'm just. But that's our relationship. Even when I went to school, I didn't call you that much. I would after a while, like, oh, let me at least let them know I'm breathing and call and say, hey, hi, whatever. But everybody's different.
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying that's their relationship, and you need to find that balance that works for you and your new husband. Yes. Like, he didn't seem like it didn't bother him or he was annoyed, because I'm assuming every day since they've been together, she's been calling her at a certain, she's been calling her mother at a certain time. So she's like, hey, I haven't talked to my mom yet. I'm about to go ahead and FaceTime her and go on the balcony. And he was like, all right, babe.
McKinley, if you want this to last, you're going to have to say something about that. Because
it might not bother him.
It might not.
You remember, his mom was about to give out some money.
That's true.
So he might have be the like, same
Ma,
relationship.
you got the $50,000 still on hold? I mean, because after 8 weeks and 1 day, like I might be good. So
I might be coming back home. So I don't know.
The other thing, he does say that he does apologize, because she does let him know, because he's like, I found out what she rated me, but he's also able to say, yeah, this is kind of why she said I am a 4.
And it's good. Like, he could have said, well, this is just how I am. You're gonna have to deal with it. But he's like, I do want to be out of my comfort zone. I'm sorry if it comes off, complaining and negative, and when your friends are not able to say that because they just laughed it off, and then you realize you ain't as funny as you thought you were.
Exactly.
So he realized, maybe this is not hilarious.
So, all right, that was pretty much it for them. There's something that we'll talk about a little later with one of the other couples. Let's get with Nicole and Chris. So they start off really on a hammock, right? Talking through. I just said, in my notes, I just put their trauma bonding over their past toxic relationships. Because it was like they were sharing, I had this horror story, I had this horror story. We were together for like 9 years and we only had sex 3 times. It was just, they were trauma bonding.
I can hear that, definitely. I think it's important to share moments of that. And I think maybe because it's just so concentrated, like they got 8 weeks to make a decision if they want to be together.
Right. And
I feel like it's almost necessary to see if they're going to fit. I think they're like, we got to be so vulnerable that if something comes up, I want to make sure I laid it out on the table.
Yeah.
So, but there is a balance in that. Maybe she shared that right now. Maybe you just should be in the moment and let her share or him share. And then you can say, I can see that. Yeah. I can see how that made you feel. And then later on, or if something else comes up, you can say, you know what, you're not the only one that had experienced that.
True.
And you don't have to go in details. Because, again, I don't want to feel like I'm competing with my mate, because I've had that experience when I was just talking to someone and then I would say something and then he would say something like...
It wasn't me.
No, I would have said it was you.
I'm letting them know that you're not covering for me saying that it was somebody, No,
I would have said like, the way you... No, I'll put you on the spot.
You would.
So, but I feel like, why do I feel like I'm competing with this person or they're competing with me?
Yeah.
That I would automatically see that up front. So, but it's funny, they're almost like the same person, but of different sex because of the things they allowed in their past relationships.
Yep.
I'm sorry. If I'm not a believer and we've been together 1.5 years and you only have sex with me 3 times, I'm dumping you. If I have no religious conviction of,
premarital sex, yep.
Then we gonna be doing it. I'm like, why would you
doing it well?
Doing it well. I'm gonna do my dirty way.
Shout out to LL.
So I was like, you might as well have been married. So like, not all married people don't have limited sex, but I'm just saying that sounds like something married people do. So it was disappointing to hear, but I feel good about the point of like, wow, you guys are saying, even though I've been through all these traumatic experiences, I'm willing to be vulnerable and take these risks.
Yeah.
Because he says it like, this might not work out, but boy, we're sharing a lot.
Yes.
So I'm glad they're comfortable.
Yes. They go kayaking. They kind of talk through kind of their pet peeves and stuff.
I like her. I'm with her with the slow people walking.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to use that SPWs, what you call them.
Yes.
SPWs.
Listen, if you see me out and I'm walking and you in my way.
Sometimes he leaves me. He's like, you going to come?
Yep.
I'm not trying to be rude, but at the same time, I was like, woo.
And here's the other thing. If you walking down the sidewalk and I'm just by myself and y'all are 2 and 3 across, I'm not moving out your way. I will walk right through you because you walking 3 across on a sidewalk. I will walk right through you.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that's me. All right. So
I try to be respectful. Like if it's
I'm
two
being
of
respectful,
us.
but
no, I mean like
if it's 2 of us,
I try to get in front of you.
Yes.
It's like if somebody's trying to if I could feel that you're behind me, I'll try to get in front of you or get behind. So allow that person, because maybe we are strolling.
Right.
So if I'm strolling, I'm gonna go ahead and get behind. That's your sign that you need to go ahead.
And don't be on the little walkway at the airport standing side by side, and there's one side supposed to be to walk and the other side to stand. Don't do that. Because I will walk up behind you and say, excuse me, and let you get out my way. So, Joe, we have conversations about everything. All right. So, they talk about pet peeves. Now, there was a portion where all the guys were talking, and they were talking about, hey, how things are going. And Chris was like, yeah, she holds hands a lot more than I would want her to.
Well, because he was saying it was hot and sweaty there.
She holds hands more than I would like to, regardless of whether it's hot.
But he said that.
He tried to qualify. Yes, I'll give you that. But I said this early on. What did I say?
What did you say?
I said she clingy.
Oh yeah, you did say that. And
She's
I was
clingy.
like, well, maybe she like PDA.
She's clingy.
So
as we see even in the preview where she's like, "Do you love me?" Relax, slow your roll. It's okay.
Yeah, I was a little taken back by that take. So, I hope he can really kind of say, because there has to be a balance there, but you have to find a way to say, like, babe, at this moment, I feel real hot. Because you've done that. I'm hot. Don't touch me. I'm like, okay.
We were in Mexico walking 3 miles. And yeah, I'm a big guy. I don't necessarily walk well holding hands.
He was
That's
acting rude. Because I was like, we're in Mexico. And I was like, oh.
But we weren't, it wasn't like we were strolling. We was trying to get someplace.
You wanted to get back, but at the same time,
because we had to get back for our excursion.
Again.
So.
He was like, don't touch me. I'm not trying to walk. So.
All right. Anyway.
We're still married, though.
We are. And we did not have to trauma bond to have that happen.
That's not a trauma bond. What was the trauma before?
I don't know.
Whatever.
All right. So anyway, let's get to Kirsten and Shaquille. Kirsten and Shaquille. The first time we really see them, they are dance hall dancing. And both of them doing well. Both had some rhythm. They could move.
He said both had some rhythm.
Because y'all know there's sometimes you see folks dancing like if y'all seen
because you're black doesn't mean you can dance.
No, it doesn't. Because I've seen some people doing the Beyonce Cuff It challenge or whatever that is.
Beyonce Cuff It challenge.
Yeah, it's a TikTok thing.
Okay, you have to show me. Well, I don't dance, but that was because it wasn't like that was a thing we did in our house.
Yeah,
we didn't do that.
Yeah,
we didn't dance.
Y'all didn't have no music.
We did have music.
I had the Canton Spirituals.
Not before I was
and the Southern
13. Yeah, he had strobe lights.
Your dad, because your dad had
bars.
Yeah, and your uncle, yeah.
They had drunk. We were drinking.
Yeah, quarter parties.
Okay, they probably did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're doing that, and she feels a connection with him dancing. So good. I want to root for them.
I do too.
I want to root for them.
They have to get out of their way. Because anytime you're trying to meet someone, you're trying to learn how to communicate,
right,
and learn your style of communication. So we're starting to see they're having some miscommunications, and then they need to get over, or she needs to get over not having the initial attraction,
right?
Because she's like,
if she bring up his bald head one more time,
I know, it's just like, okay, it's over. Granted, you wanted him to have hair. I think he should show up with a wig.
Listen,
time.
There are barbers that do miracles.
I think he should just come home one day and put a wig on and see how she's feeling that.
Get him a kid and play.
Yeah, and just see if she's like, you know what? I think I like you better with a bald head. Sometimes you just got to show the opposite.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, when you're getting a whole person, right? They're emotionally whole, they're spiritually whole. Everything about them is like, I want to be the best version of myself. Mm-hmm. Take that.
Yep. So she does say that he jokes a little too much. That's kind of her sticking point with him. Mm-hmm. When he's talking to the guys, she says that he kind of talks at her. So
she said, are you being Martin Luther King? I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. And I can kind of get that, especially you've been in educational mode.
Mm-hmm. You're in mentor mode.
You're in mentor mode all the time, and now you're getting your doctor's degree.
And you're trying to transition to relationship mode.
Yes.
I get that. So he's got to work on that.
He has to work on that. So.
But he does ask her, he's like, okay, you didn't like my bald head. You weren't that attracted to me. You don't like that I joke too much. So what do you like about me?
Yes.
And she basically is like, look, I like you. I'm growing to like you. But she's like, I want to get past the jokes, and I want to get to the serious of what we could be.
But it took I don't know how long the take was, but it took a while for them to get there.
Yeah. Because
I think, again, when you don't have the tools, like, we want to be in a relationship. I was in past relationships, so this is going to be the same. No, it's not going to be the same. And what you realize is that you don't communicate well.
Right.
Because, again, if you have some tools in your bag, you can pull out. So what I hear you saying is this. And then you can say, nope, that's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And then she could better communicate to him. Because like any person want to know, like, what is too much joking?
Right.
And she couldn't say what's too much joking. Then he's like, then how am I supposed to be who I am? Because I like to joke. Yeah. I like to spend time. But when she was able to finally get to the thing, like, okay,
this is why I don't want us to joke as much.
Right.
Because I'm focused on doing this.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of times we just get irritated and say, well, I don't want to talk about it. Well, we're not talking about because you can't communicate.
Right. And here's the thing. That joking thing, you're going to deal with that for a good portion of the relationship. Because there are still times where I joke too much. And she's like, okay, that's enough.
Right.
And I know, okay.
Right.
Or vice versa, right?
Right, yeah.
And it's like, we know, okay, let's go ahead and move on. It was fun while it lasted. Right. Let's move on.
Or it wasn't a joke and someone gets offended.
True.
So I was like, I'm just joking.
It's part of relationships. Communications.
It's all about realizing people's intent. And I think they talked a lot about intent on this episode.
Yes. Reason is, if you're back here at the opening, from the opening, of course. The other thing is that Shaquille, I want to call him Shaq. But Shaquille,
that's his nickname.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It is Shaq.
Shaquille. Okay. But all of the guys broke off. All of the ladies broke off. And we'll talk more about it as far as the Gina and Clint conversation and even Clint's conversation. But needless to say, Shaquille opened his mouth about what Eris had said about Jasmine.
Yes. And he didn't give any content. Like, he was just like, so.
He ain't attracted to her.
Eris ain't attracted to
Jasmine.
To Jasmine. She was like, what? He just said, well,
she
beautiful. She beautiful.
Nah.
He ain't attracted to her.
He ain't feeling her.
He ain't feeling that. Then she's like, are you serious? Yeah, maybe he was just trying to keep her from feeling. Like, you didn't set this up. Now, when you say stuff to me and it don't make sense to me, I probe. Because men can be They just say,
I give you the high level.
I
give you the
I said, okay, so what content was said to make him say that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to pull it out of him to feel like, oh, okay, well, maybe he, and you probably would still suck around like, nah, he just not feeling her. But the way he came off is like, Eris was lying, so and he had the tea.
You know, Kirsten and Jasmine. Kirsten about to hit Jasmine up on the resort phone. Girl,
I got your number. Like, boop, 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 boop. And he didn't say don't say nothing or nothing. He was just like, yeah. Listen, it ain't just CLINT. Because the reason why he brought that up because Jasmine was saying, now Gina's not feeling that CLINT said about, the slender athletic thing. And then he's like, oh, yeah, but he ain't the only one that ain't feeling nobody. And then that's when he brings up somebody else. Bro, it was supposed to be bro code. You were not supposed, you supposed to go, yeah. You supposed to be focused on what your wife said. Yeah, yes. I see like all the women weren't feeling that.
Yes. And here's the thing. Now, there are things that in a relationship you have to navigate what's bro code, girl code versus what I'm going to share.
Right.
There's some stuff that it's not necessarily bro code that I'm like, listen, we got to talk about what I just heard.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to take it anywhere.
Right.
It's not going anywhere.
And if because we had some conversations at the beginning of our relationship, it was like, this stays here. This is on lock. This is
right between me and you.
This ain't going nowhere else.
Don't you say nothing, because I'm being vulnerable and I'm trying to know you can keep a secret, because this is about to go down.
Because there's some stuff even like when in our church ministry, because of the environments and tables sometimes that I was sitting at, that I was like, okay, and I couldn't come home and tell her because.
Sometimes he didn't have to tell me. I was like, it was so.
Yes, yeah.
And he was like, all right.
Then, like years later, when everything came out, it was like I knew about the situation. Oh, really? Yeah. So yeah. But Shaq, or at least be like, look, this is just us
between me and
Don't
you.
say nothing to nobody. Don't call.
She not feeling.
Because y'all ain't built that relationship yet. Right now, she has a better relationship with Jasmine than she does with you.
Right.
Just saying.
Just saying. Or you don't know where you don't know where he at. Maybe he's just trying to figure out. So he's trying to be honest with you.
Yep.
But maybe tomorrow he might find her beautiful.
He might wake up.
And like, bam.
All right. So let's get to Jasmine and Eris.
Yes.
They start off their first time we really see them. They're doing a couples massage.
Yeah.
Couples massages are the way to go.
Yes. We had one in Mexico.
Yep. Nice. And then I guess they finish hers, and she's continuing to rub him. Mm-hmm. And she's like, this is the most we've been touching since we get married. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah.
He goes about talking about sex to now saying, like, yeah, I'm just going to keep that lid on. I think people have... Now, this is where you see the opposite side, where they're not being vulnerable enough. Right? Mm-hmm. Where they should be really talking like, while he was laying there, he's like, listen, in the past I had meaningless sex. Mm-hmm. I just want to get to a place where I feel like it's intimate between us, and we're gonna work our way. I know I talk about it, but me talking about it is just the way I express myself. But I'm treating you like a lady, or you know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
Even though he's off,
because just off. The previous episode, he was like, all right, what's your favorite position?
Right.
He's like, all right, I know you're a lady, but I need the hoe to come out.
Right.
So he said all this.
But then he turns
and then on the same vacation, he's like, so.
I don't know. Maybe he was talking with his penis.
Okay. We're going to leave that there. All right.
We try to figure out, like, how do you go? Because even she was like, hold on.
She's like, he don't seem interested.
First you were talking about it. No, I'm like, she's like, this is what she's saying in front of the camera.
Yeah.
First he was talking about it. Mm-hmm. Now I get nothing. I'm confused. Mm-hmm. But you have to have that conversation. Even you say like, look, first you pretty much putting it out there.
Right.
And now I'm not getting anything from you. I'm attracted to you. obviously I do want us to have them intimate moments, but at the same time, can you tell me where we are, where we going with this?
Because when all of the couples are together, Clint, who does a lot of talking.
He talks a lot.
Clint was like, so Eris, you blowing her back out yet?
Because this is when they're in their conversations. And everybody like to share Eris's business, it seems like.
Well, because Eris just does a lot of talking.
He just
Him and Clint both do a lot of talking, just in different ways. Clint does it from more of a arrogance, more of a I know it all type of thing. Eris does it more from a bravado type of way.
Yeah, like, I'm that man.
Right.
I'm the man.
Like I'm
the man.
So because when the guys all met during the, before the marriages, Eris is like, yeah, man, we gonna get married and I'm gonna be blowing her back out. So Clint's like, hey, that back don't look blown out to me, bro. So
this is crazy.
Even Jess is like, no,
not even close.
Nope, that ain't happened.
Not even close. And then you see him get conservative, like, no, you did just say that out loud.
Yeah.
You shared my business out loud.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. Eris might be one of those guys, might have been. I'm not going to say he's like this grown, because hopefully this isn't. But he might have been one of those guys in high school who was like, yeah, I got that, and never did.
Yeah.
He might have been one of those guys.
Yeah.
Just, that's what he comes off as. He does say that Jasmine thinks of him as a 4, but as a 12. That Jasmine's really attracted to him, which it kind of seems that way.
He said that when they were just the men together.
Yeah, but he says that he's like at a 4 with her as far as attraction.
4 or 5. I mean, I guess he says, I know she's attractive. I know she's been in beauty pageants.
Yeah,
right, and won. Yeah. That's the difference. Some of them in beauty pageants. Just saying.
I remember I judged the Miss Black Tulsa.
Yes. She had no talent.
It
was not about her beauty. It was about the talent.
Yeah,
it was
the
lacking.
talent was like, no.
But going back to what we were saying. So when he brings up pageant, it's like, I hear you, but you have to say she won pageants.
Right.
Because, again, but then he goes, it's more the physique. It's not about her physical facial features.
He likes the back end, right? He likes
the back end.
He likes the rump, the derriere, right?
The peach,
the onion. Y'all, okay? But
why you lick your lips when you did that?
Just saying.
He said the peach.
So anyway. Anyway,
you like it.
That's all. Yeah,
it's all good.
But he's like naming, Meg the Stallion.
Yes, he started naming names.
And Serena.
Yes, I was like, okay. So, granted, we got the picture of where you're coming from, but as you're trying to change the features that would just automatically want you to have sex, then now you need to look at other features that could be prominent. And like I said, people even change. When you have kids, you change. So those things can change. And so I think he shouldn't be overly focused.
And I'm going to just say this. It's not like the girl is an ironing board.
No.
It's not like she's
no. She's just petite.
Her features fit her frame.
It does.
So, he does also say, and I thought it was funny, he also does say, after the conversation with all the couples, he was like, low key, Clint and Gina was saying they both ugly.
Because they come back together, so Kristen and Eris come back together and like, they were calling each other low key ugly. They both were doing it. Like, I'm glad people realize it's not just him.
Right.
But she was like, calling each other low key ugly. Like, that's a lot.
And then he also was like, yeah, I think Nicole don't like her dude because, before the honeymoon or before the wedding, she was talking about day 2, they're going to have to be, knocking boots. And now she wants to take it slow.
But then he had to realize, he's like, I'm in the same boat.
Right. Because she was like, because Jasmine essentially called him on it. It's like, well, you was talking all that blowing back out stuff too, but look at you now. Oh, yeah, I get it now.
Because he's like, when you really come in contact with a stranger, then, and I think also it's the shock factor of the commitment.
Right.
Because anytime you meet somebody, they're a stranger.
Right.
If you're dating or you decide that you want to get this person's number, but I know these are people that they didn't pick.
Right.
So this is where all this is entangled together. He's like, I met your family, and so now understanding all those dynamics, you're trying to make decisions that's going to be long term.
Exactly. So. He does say that he's feeling more friend vibes with her, with Jasmine. And then, they get back into the conversation because the red flag for her is that he's 39, he's never falling in love. She's like, it's easy for her to fall in love. And so she's concerned that with this 8-week process, will she fall for him because it's easier for her to fall in love and he'll never fall for her.
Yeah, and that's a valid concern. We've seen it on Married at First Sight before, where
somebody gets there first,
or they say they never been in love. This is not the first male that been on Married at First Sight. They say they've never been in love before.
True,
but we find out there's traumas there. So I think when you come to those situations, you need to ask other questions. He tried to explain it, and it sounded like he was talking more about infatuation. We talked about that in the last episode.
Right.
So then you need to dig deeper. Like, okay, how's your relationship with your mother?
Yeah.
Has there been some type of trauma between you and women? And you need to dig deep.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it for them, I think. I don't think they had anything else.
They didn't have anything else. She asked him, where do you see us going? And he's like, I do want to grow. I am committed to this. So she's like, okay, I can only go off of what you said.
Right.
And we'll just keep working at it.
Keep going. So. All right. So then Clint and Gina. So they start off with the floating breakfast. So they're in the pool, standing up.
Eating breakfast. No. Now, if we're going to be like sitting where there could be like, we've sat at the pool side where it had a pool, the table and the stool was actually in the pool.
Yep.
Now, if you want to do that, we can do that.
Right.
But me standing up and then I got to hold the little thing.
And try to keep my balance.
And keep my balance and eat. That's not cute.
No.
I ain't like it. It's like,
so they do talk about how they're working through their initial attraction and connection, right? So he's kind of like, are you excited about how things will be when we get back? And she goes on a monologue about work. I do hair. I got to braid it, twist it, flip it, cut it, snip it, wash it, set it.
Because he said, I really want you to relax. I want us to get you, I want to get you on, he's like, I want to get you on the ocean. And this is where she's like, well, you getting me on the ocean. I'm normally doing all this stuff. I just signed a 7-year lease and I got to get it up running to make sure I pay this lease. So I get what she's saying. Instead of sharing her fears, like, I'm really nervous about doing this because I just started this business and I don't know how this is going to work out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, take it from that point. But he was like, based off of his point of view, that's all she talked about. But I think even McKinley, he brought out, well, I had several small businesses. So I understand where you're so ingrained and focused on that. That's been all your part of your life.
It's your identity. Right. So she is going to have to find a way to be able to leave work at work, leave your business at business. And he makes a good point also. He's like, look, there are people that can help do that. You don't have to be involved with everything. You can get an assistant and you can enjoy life. Let your business be your business, and let your life be your life. So
yeah, and I think, and that's where I granted she started this process and she didn't know if she was going to be chosen, but then you got to have a backup plan.
Yes.
Because when you decide to marry someone and put someone in your life, and you're right at the beginning of a business, it could be a strain.
Yep.
You know, because you have to say, okay, who can I trust to do this and do that? You know, or if you're going to say you're going to be there, like, okay, I know you want to get me on the ocean. Can we set like some dates so I can know how to, I'm going to make my life around us getting to know each other.
Right.
And then once we can get comfortable in that, then I can see who I can pass on things to other people.
Yeah.
But she's going to have to really be intentional.
Yeah. So in the conversation also, she brings up, so all the couples kind of get together, right? And as far as the clips, because again, the after party gives us more context. As far as what we see, it's almost as if Clint brings it almost out of the blue. Well, yeah, I used to date slender.
Well, not out of the blue, because they're going around asking them how y'all feel about your relationships. Have there been any hiccups? Where y'all at now that y'all been together? And then that's when the clip is cut, where it seems like he's answering that question.
Right.
Well, she's not attracted to me, and I'm attracted to athletic, slender women.
Right.
Gas.
There's the gas around.
Ooh, no, he didn't.
Now, what we find out in the after party is that, that's not the first time he said that to Gina, because they kind of evidently had a conversation the night before or two nights before off camera about how they weren't each other's ideal as far as what they've normally been attracted to and dated. So they've had the conversation before. And so we even find, according to Clint and co-signed by Dominique, that Gina was the one who first brought up that Clint did not date, or Clint normally dated slim women, is the word. And so what he said was he was just trying to, in some respects, co-sign what Gina had said, just using a different word by using slender and athletic. He recognizes that, especially in retrospect, he's like, I probably should have chosen another word, maybe not left out the physical portion, but said more adventurous. Probably would have done better that way. But there is, in some respects, some of a manufactured controversy, because Gina was the one who brought it up, as far as
you brought it up in an open.
Right. Now, Dominique also does say in the after party that for her, it was just, it hit into her insecurity of, she's not a thin woman. And so for her, it hit to the insecurity of, I'm getting married to a stranger. Will he reject me because I'm not a thin woman? So I get that. I completely understand that. I was ready to barbecue Clint. Could he have chosen better terms? Absolutely. But they both have a part to play in this.
Exactly. Especially if you know, I think because she brought it up, right? Then he felt like he was open enough to talk about it, because here's my spouse, bringing it to the group.
Right.
So now I feel open to talk about it because my spouse said what I said first.
Because y'all know, if y'all ever watched an episode of Law and Order, you know that once the witness brings up something that the judge said is excluded, the attorneys are like, hey, they opened the door. I can explore it now.
Because they said
Gina
it first.
opened the door.
Clint
was like, I'm going to explore it now.
And be honest, if she brought it up first, they probably gasped then. So then Clint thinks I might need to clean it up.
It's possible.
Because I'm looking at people's faces and they're like, oh, no, you didn't. And so now he's trying to clean it up. And now it's like, oh, wow, you said that. So I'm wondering, were they shocked when she said it first? Because she's saying it with like, wow, he really said to me this last night, blah, blah, blah. And then he's trying to clean up. And so now we're thinking it was only him saying it, you know, in the episode and making him look like the villain, right?
Right.
And so...
Producers don't do that.
What? What?
They don't make villains.
Really?
Now, we know there are some villains who are just villains because they are villains.
Or they
Shout
feel
out
like they
to
need
Chris from Atlanta.
Or they feel like they need to play that role, right? Right. But so we see in that scene, and then it kind of like ends there. But then when they're just the women like, I can't believe he said that, blah, blah, blah. You know, because I was thinking he was saying that because of the ginger comment, the red hair.
And that's the other thing, real quick, is that neither one of us would be qualified as ginger.
No, I don't have any ginger.
My circle presently is not. Now, growing up, school I went to, I came across a lot of people.
When I was in
some
school,
that could be considered ginger. I've never heard that term used as a derogatory thing.
No, but I get when someone picks on something about you, because when I was a kid, it was that I was always the tallest one. So people always talked about that, or they feel like my full lips, but they would say my big lips then. So even though it was the way it was portrayed to me, if someone said that when I was an adult, I could see I could be triggered by those things, because when it was said to me as a kid, it wasn't said out of being kind or a great feature.
Context matters.
Right. Because when you say redhead, you're like, oh, they're fiery. You know, that's what I've heard when people said that.
Yeah.
You know, they made some kind of connotation based off of their having red hair or something like that, or having freckles, and it was always negative.
Yeah, I knew one guy who was very attracted to redheads. That was his thing. And there was one he was attracted to. I was like, I don't see it, bruh.
It was just the red hair.
It was just the red hair. That's all it was.
So I can see how, you know, he's trying to like get back at I was thinking like he was trying to retaliate.
Gotcha.
At first, right?
Yeah.
But if it offended him, she wasn't hearing him either.
Right.
You know, she felt like she was the expert, and not feeling like, well, if one redhead is not feeling that way, then no one, you know, should be feeling that way. And again, we can't be looking at people, no matter hair color, skin color, that they're all cool. Just because one person allows it doesn't mean everybody will allow me to do that.
Now, the other thing also just to mention is, as the fellas are talking and they're like, hey, bro, what about that comment? McKinley's like, bruh.
Trying to tell you.
I don't know what you be pulling, but Gina could get it. That's what McKinley said, basically. McKinley's like, listen, if you mess up with Gina, I'll be on the Where Are They Now trying to get her number. He's like, I don't know what you've been dating.
Well, that other clip with Clinton and his wife, I guess Clinton beat him to the punch.
Yeah, Clinton, there might be a whole swap going on.
But, I don't know. Okay, let me tell you. How would you feel if someone you wouldn't have a problem with them complimenting me, right? If someone says like, I don't know what you on, man, but your wife got it going on. So you need to recognize it.
Because we've dated, what have you, I wouldn't have an issue.
Okay.
But if we're in the context of everybody just met their wives,
okay,
and we sitting around a campfire,
and the first thing
you like is, look,
I've been checking her out. Your wife,
like, whoa,
because everybody did get kind of quiet. What did he say? Something about Clint said something about his comment, like, oh, I'm not the only one in the camp or something. He made a comment about it, and everybody was just like looking at each other like, is this cool between y'all?
Yeah. Because, again, I think that's what makes the difference. The fact that they're all new in their own relationship. They just met the person. Because can we just be honest? This is not what the first Married at First Sight where I think that this could be possible. I think that there could be some looking at the other wives or the other husbands and be like, ooh, what if I got matched with that?
It's possible.
It's possible.
We haven't had any.
McKinley just said the quiet part out loud. That's all. So.
If someone can mention that their spouse's mother is hot.
Yeah. You see the mom walking down the aisle. You're like, who's that mom? Oh, that's mama-in-law.
That's
Dang. We're talking about last season, y'all.
Oh, God.
So
it's possible.
Anything's possible. And they're saying that there's going to be a twist in this season that's going to shock everyone's mind. So we'll see.
We shall see.
All right. I think that's it for this recap. I think we kind of covered everything, but let us know what we might have missed in the comments. Let us know. In fact, we'll probably put a poll out on the community page on which couples you guys are thinking are going to last. I know some of y'all are like, none of them going to last because the track record's not been great. But let us know. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.